Filipino culture has become one of the most powerful forces shaping the world in 2025. In a shocking cultural shift, entire nations are embracing Filipino traditions, cuisine, music, and even language. From bustling cities to quiet towns, you'll hear OPM songs playing, see people enjoying adobo and Jollibee, and witness communities celebrating Filipino fiestas like their own. These aren't just fans, these countries are obsessed. The Philippines is no longer just a country, it's a global cultural phenomenon. So, which nations have fallen in love with Pinoy culture the most? Stay tuned as we reveal the top 8 countries where Filipino culture is taking over in 2025. 8. United Kingdom, Great Britain. The United Kingdom is experiencing a Filipino cultural boom, with over 200,000 Filipinos making their mark, particularly in London, Manchester, and Birmingham. The NHS, National Health Service, relies heavily on Filipino nurses, whose dedication and care have earned widespread admiration. Many British families now personally appreciate Filipino values of warmth, hospitality, and strong family ties. But the Filipino influence goes beyond work, it's in the streets, the food, and the celebrations. The annual Barrio Fiesta in London is one of the largest Filipino cultural events in Europe, attracting both Filipinos and British locals who enjoy traditional music, dance, and, of course, delicious Pinoy food. Jollibee has taken London by storm, with locals craving Chicken Joy and Jolly Spaghetti. Even British pubs are serving versions of Filipino-inspired cocktails and dishes. Beyond food and healthcare, Filipino talents are shining in the UK's media, entertainment, and even politics. British TV now features more Filipino actors and musicians, and Tagalog words are slowly creeping into British slang. Could the UK be the next Filipino cultural hub in Europe? It certainly looks like it. 7. Japan. Japan has always been fascinated with Filipino culture, but in 2025, this admiration has turned into a full-blown obsession. With over 313,000 Filipinos living in the country, the influence of Pinoy culture is deeply embedded in Japanese society. Filipino music has dominated karaoke bars, with locals singing their hearts out to Sarah Geronimo, Ben, and SB19. Even Filipino street food stalls have popped up in Tokyo and Osaka, serving isa, balut, and halo to excited Japanese foodies. The biggest cultural connection? Work and education. The Japanese government actively recruits Filipinos for jobs in healthcare, hospitality, and even English teaching. Filipinos are now a vital part of Japan's aging society, providing care for the elderly with their signature warmth and compassion. But what's truly surprising? Japanese pop culture is now embracing Filipino elements, anime featuring Filipino characters, Tagalog phrases in J-pop songs, and collaborations between Japanese and Filipino artists are becoming the norm. Japan isn't just inspired by Filipino culture, it's living it. 6. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is home to a massive Filipino community of over 541,000 people, making it one of the largest concentrations of overseas Filipinos in the world. But this is more than just a workforce. Filipinos have shaped the very culture of the UAE. Walk through Satwa, Karama, or Dera in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and you'll feel like you're in Little Manila. Filipino restaurants, grocery stores, salons, and even Tagalog-speaking taxi drivers are everywhere. The influence is so strong that many locals and expats have adopted Filipino food, fashion, and even holiday traditions. One of the biggest celebrations in the UAE is Philippine Independence Day, drawing thousands of Filipinos and locals to grand events featuring OPM concerts, street parades, and traditional dances. Even Emirati employers prefer hiring Filipinos because of their hard work and positive attitude. And the love goes both ways. Many Filipinos have embraced Middle Eastern cuisine, music, and lifestyle, creating a beautiful cultural fusion. The UAE isn't just home to Filipinos, it feels like the Philippines itself. 5. Canada. Canada has one of the fastest growing Filipino communities, with nearly 1 million Filipinos calling it home. From Vancouver to Toronto, Pinoys have built vibrant communities, businesses, and cultural hubs. Food is a major reason for this cultural takeover. Jollibee is now a Canadian favorite, with long lines of locals craving chicken joy and peach mango pie. Even high-end Canadian restaurants are now incorporating Filipino flavors like calamansi, ube, and adobo into their menus. But it's not just food. Filipinos have influenced Canadian entertainment and politics. Filipino Canadians are winning elections, starring in TV shows, and dominating sports and music. The annual Mabuhay Festival in Toronto brings tens of thousands of Canadians together to celebrate Filipino culture, music, and heritage. Canada adores the Filipino spirit, and with each passing year, the connection only grows stronger. 4. Malaysia. The bond between Malaysia and the Philippines runs deep, with Filipinos influencing music, food, and daily life. In Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Sabah, Filipino enclaves thrive, bringing Filipino hospitality and traditions into Malaysian society. Filipino music is everywhere in Malaysia, with OPM songs playing on radio stations and in local malls. Filipino reality shows and teleseries are huge hits, and many Malaysians have even started using Tagalog words in daily conversation. But the biggest impact? Filipino food. Malaysian street food now features adobo, lumpia, and halo-halo, and local chefs are experimenting with Filipino-Malaysian fusion dishes. The two cultures have blended so much that many Malaysians now feel at home in the Philippines, and vice versa. 3. Australia. Australia has fallen in love with Filipino culture, thanks to the over 400,000 Filipinos who call it home. The Filipino Fiesta in Melbourne has grown into one of Australia's biggest cultural celebrations, attracting thousands of locals eager to experience Filipino food, music, and traditions. Filipino cuisine is booming. Australians can't get enough of lechon, sinigang, and pancit, and Filipino-owned restaurants are dominating the food scene. Even Filipino-Australian influencers and YouTubers are spreading Filipino slang and trends across social media. From entertainment to everyday life, Filipino culture is making waves in Australia, showing no signs of slowing down. 2. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is home to nearly 1 million Filipinos, making them one of the largest expat groups in the kingdom. Filipino workers are vital to Saudi industries, and their influence extends beyond work. Saudi locals have adopted many Filipino traditions and even phrases. Filipinos have built strong communities in Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dammam, with areas filled with Filipino stores, restaurants, and salons. Even with cultural differences, Filipinos have created a home away from home, with communities celebrating Christmas, fiestas, and Philippine Independence Day with huge gatherings. Saudi locals have grown to appreciate Filipino culture, from cuisine to customs, proving that the Filipino way of life is making a lasting impact. 1. Singapore. Singapore is obsessed with Filipino culture. With Filipino professionals dominating healthcare, banking, and entertainment, their impact is everywhere. Lucky Plaza has become the heart of the Filipino community, a weekend gathering place filled with Filipino stores, restaurants, and remittance centers. But Filipino culture extends beyond this hub. Filipino food, music, and festivals are now a major part of Singaporean life. Filipino restaurants are thriving, and Jollibee Singapore has become a favorite among both Filipinos and locals. Filipino TV shows, influencers, and celebrities are gaining popularity, and Filipino festivals like Pista Sanayan attract thousands of attendees yearly. Singaporeans have embraced Filipino values, food, and entertainment, proving that Filipino culture is taking over the world.